Well, hello there. I'm Rafael di Furia, back at it again on another Friday night, even though it is now still currently the middle of the afternoon as I'm recording this. This is going to be the first episode that I've done outside in a very, very long time. There have been a lot of changes going on in recent months within my life, and even since my video saying that I'm going to be leaving Portugal, there have been changes, a lot of changes since that. Right now, I am currently in Verona, Italy. And no, I have not moved back to Italy. But in this episode, we're going to be exploring Verona, and I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit more of an update on kind of how things are going to be looking, potentially, at least the rough plan for things moving forward. But while I'm here in Verona, I thought I would show you guys around, show you the city. Some of you may have seen the video that Marco Permunian and I uploaded last year to the Italian Citizenship channel, where we were visiting Verona, and I've noticed a lot of videos that show Verona show a lot more of the touristy sides of things. Granted, one of the things that I'm about to take you guys and go do is definitely touristy, but I feel as though a lot of the videos that end up appearing on YouTube really don't show what it's like to really be here, to show the actual experience. Granted, it's a very touristy city, but I would say it's a very nice city. I mean, also plenty of places, wonderful places to eat. This pizza is out of this world. Very simple pizza. Normally, I'm the type of person that loves pizza when it is covered, absolutely just covered with cheese. But that place does really amazing crust, and I believe it's even sourdough. A lot of places you can find here that do sourdough, which is not necessarily the most common to find in this part of the world, but I mean, look at this place. It is really something else. Also, this place right here happens to do really amazing slices. Maybe later on in the episode we'll go and check some of it out. But what we are going to do right now is go up above Verona and take a look over the city, see what it looks like, and have just a little afternoon outing here in this beautiful city. So now we are getting to the Ponte Pietra. It is just an absolutely beautiful location here. I mean, there's nothing that I would have any real complaints about in this city. The views just everywhere are continuously spectacular. There's been some rain lately, so the water is really rushing. But in the summertime, you can go down, and there are some places by the river where you can just sit and enjoy the scenery around you. And tons of churches, beautiful hills. The center of the city is really something so very special, but it is up this hill where we're going to go. You could walk it, and it wouldn't be too horrible, but there happens to be a very reasonably priced funicular cabin. But the funny thing is it actually kind of functions somewhere between a funicular cabin and an elevator. Like, there are a couple stops and you press the button, whatever. I'll try to show you guys on there. It is a fun experience to have here in this city. And here we are at the, I guess you could call station, base station, the origin point at the bottom. And if I am not mistaken, the price for a ticket as a non-resident that is not a senior, it should be about €3 round trip. But if you are a senior, I believe you can get it for €2. That's the bridge we just passed over. Fascinating to see it like all broken. Wow.
Ancora caricando.
Well, we made it up to the top here. One thing though, if you are coming up, make sure that you don't assume that it's going to go up on its own. Make sure, like an elevator, you press the button. Not everybody is like expecting to have to do that. I mean, I know for me, first time I ever did it, I was not expecting it myself, but I mean, as soon as you get to the top here, it is absolutely gorgeous. There's this little cafe bar up here, but what everybody comes up for, that view. It's a very easy, quick ride, as you saw. I didn't show the whole thing in the video that I'm going to upload for you guys. I mean, you don't need to wait around and see everything exactly how it happens, but to get the idea of the experience overall. And I mean, this to me is truly amazing. I love it up here. It's one of these places that you just feel like you're outside of the city, but you're still in it. You have the experience of what it's like here, but not all of the hustle and bustle. Even in Braga, where I've been calling home, I mean, even going up to Bom Jesus there, if you've seen my videos going there, or maybe just the one video, whatever it was, I mean, it's a very different experience here. I mean, I can say this funicular cabin most definitely, without a doubt, feels much more solid than the one in Braga. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But being able to come here and visit and being able to see this, I mean, for me, is just such a refreshing thing. I mean, could it be the type of place that I could call home? Maybe. But maybe it's a little bit on the touristy side for me. But where is home now? This is getting into the part of the episode that I was mentioning that I am going to be kind of giving a little bit of a channel update, what's going on, how it's going on, because I've been noticing over the last years that as somebody sharing about living abroad online, that there are certain parts of my private life that some individuals feel as though that they can try and insert themselves into. And I'm someone who really appreciates my privacy and appreciates my time and my time offline, and especially because I work largely online, it's nice to have that quote-unquote separation between church and state. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love meeting you guys. The thing is that there have been some individuals over the years who've created concern for my own physical safety and just well-being as to where I am and what's going on in my life. So the big next decision, at least for the foreseeable future, I won't be talking about where I'm going to be living, the town that I'm going to be living, the city I'm living in, could it be village, the country even. I am not going to be discussing that. What I will be discussing, though, is about life abroad, continuing the discussions that have been on this channel since the very beginning. And the thing is, what my original plan, especially going towards 2020, before everything happened, was that there was going to be a lot more travel and showing you guys around, showing you the outside world, what actually exists, showing you this beautiful planet that we live on, mainly focusing on Europe. But my plan is that I would like to show other parts of Europe and to kind of highlight things that exist and the types of lifestyles and how people can go about their daily life. But the difference is that I will not be sharing about the place where I'm going to be calling home. I have not decided to move back to Italy, but I will be spending actually quite a bit more time here. Within the work that I do, Italy is a very necessary place for me to spend time, and also over the last years, there have been a lot of you who have been saying that you want to hear more about Italy, you want to see more of Italy. And so my attempt is to actually try and bring a lot of the content about this channel to also contain things about Italy again. I mean, exploring and seeing and different, not all the time. I mean, there's still going to be a lot of indoor episodes. I mean, the whole reason why it became kind of a much more of a podcast setup was it was kind of divided in the beginning, but especially with 2020, I mean, it really got settled into that format. And so my ideal for the project is to be able to bring it back into the real world again. Also, there is something else that I have been wanting to address that's been happening to my YouTube channel over the last few months, or 6 months more or less. And some of you may have noticed, and actually some of you have left comments about why are my videos getting more likes than views. I don't have an answer as to why. I've never purchased likes, I've never purchased views, I've never purchased any kind of engagement, comments, nothing. I'm really anti that. I mean, even like I help businesses and individuals who are looking to be able to improve their social media and what they do online. And I always recommend extremely so against purchasing any kind of interactions. And so it's very frustrating for me as somebody who's put so many hundreds of hours, maybe even thousands of hours at this point into this YouTube channel and this project overall. I mean, I've poured a lot of myself into it over these years. It's been quite a few years at this point. And even it's become such an issue. I contacted YouTube about it, and like many people who are in the YouTube Partner Program will know, like, you don't always get help. You don't always get a positive answer, or maybe even the answer that you're hoping for to be able to resolve an issue. And when I contacted YouTube Partner Support, without really going into detail, it was kind of like, no, we do our best because of all the thousands and thousands of hours that are uploaded daily to make sure that everything's done, and there's no problem with your channel. I mean, I think some of the like to view counts on my channel would disagree with that, but there's really nothing I can do at this point.
As a quick editor's note, I wanted to go into just quick little details about what I'm talking about specifically in this part of the episode. What's been going on is that within maybe an hour of one of my videos going live on YouTube being published, is that before the video even gets 100 views, maybe it will receive anywhere between 3,000 and 4,000 total likes. I mean, there's no way that a video with 100 views should receive that many likes. What's been happening also is that the video likes will decrease over the span of maybe 1 day to a week, or even a few weeks or a few months. But at this point, there's nothing that's clear about what's going on. So definitely I'm not happy about it. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the video on this delightful note.
But what does this mean for you guys, practically speaking? I mean, not much. I mean, really what it comes down to is that there is only going to be a difference in some of the content, but it's not going to be a complete change. I mean, Not Your Average Globetrotter is going to remain as Not Your Average Globetrotter. Me, Rafael de Furia, here on another Friday night in the middle of the afternoon. The whole thing with the likes, I mean, at this point in time, I don't know. There's not much that I can do. I can't even tell you how frustrating it is, because to me, it looks like there is maybe some sort of potential bot attack. But can I prove it? No. So for the time being, I just have to continue uploading, and my preference would be to continue uploading to this channel. I'm not interested in starting another YouTube channel after having put so many years of my life into this, but at this point, I can't say that I have a firm opinion on what is the best thing to do. I mean, there's only one thing that I can do at this point, and that is to keep continuing on and on. I'm going to continue bringing you guys to beautiful places, beautiful spaces. I mean, okay, maybe this is not the most idyllic spot where I am in this very moment right here, but I mean, it's Italy. I mean, how can you not love the beauty that this country has? I mean, for me, as somebody with Italian citizenship, I'm so grateful every day that I am able to call Europe home and even continue to have access to this amazing place, that I can come here as I wish, and I can make a life here. I can have part of my life here. I can have my full life here. And this is actually going to get into my next point, that I will be doing part of my life here. I am deciding to spend my life in various different locations. For those of you who've been watching the channel for a while now, you'll know that my whole desire has been to set roots, set a base location, and have that to be able to call home. That's going to have to get pushed back a little bit, and my plans are changing, and I think this is, in life, you have to be ready for the moment to change up and to be able to roll with it. I mean, if you don't have that flexibility, then what are you going to do? I mean, think about it. This is why even buildings are not built perfectly rigid. They're built in a way that they can have some sway if an earthquake comes, and I think life also needs to be like that as well. But now I am back here at the bottom where we started, by the bridge, and maybe did I waste €1.50? Possibly, but I could probably use it another time. Will I, won't I? I don't know. But definitely, if you are going to go up there, make sure if you're buying the round-trip ticket and you plan on using it both ways, that you keep the ticket. If you start up at the top, you can buy the ticket when you come back down, or if you buy the ticket on your way up, then you can, in fact, scan out on your way down, because you don't have to scan out when you're at the top or scan in at the top, but you have to scan in and out when you're at the bottom of the funicular cabin. But now that we are back here in the center, in the opposite side of the river, having crossed back over the bridge, let's take a walk around these streets. Let's see what's here. This particular part of the city right now, if you look at a map of Verona, is kind of the northern tip of the part that comes out into the river. If you're looking at the map, look close towards, well, you can see it over here actually, the Duomo. I believe that's the Duomo, at least. It's one of the churches in this area. I'm 99% sure that's the Duomo. But getting lost in these alleyways, I think it's one of the most amazing things about Italy, that you have, okay, granted this is not quite an alleyway, but to get into these back streets, there's a lot of touristy parts of the city that people love, that are absolutely gorgeous, adorable, whatever you want to call it. But to me, this is the real city. This is the real experience here. This is what people are going to actually experience on the day-to-day basis. If I'm going to a place, yeah, it's fun to have the touristy experience. Yeah, it's fun to explore the sights and see the views and the vistas. But what's it like to actually be there? What are the experiences that the locals have? What are the experiences that the people from that place will have on their own? I would say Verona is one of those cities, like a Venice or like a Florence, where you do see that tourism has most definitely taken over, and there's no way around that. I mean, you can't avoid it in a lot of Italy, even a lot of Europe these days. No way through there, so I'm going to go around this way. But there are still parts of these cities all around the world where you can experience what people who are from there will experience, whether that comes with all of the fun of the city itself, or whether that comes with maybe avoiding certain parts of the city. Sometimes getting onto those back streets, the back sides of these churches and different locations can really present you with even more unique experiences than what the average tourist might even have. Even going to eat at restaurants, I mean, going to the restaurants that have just the big pictures on them and everything, and languages, 15 languages on there. Yeah, it's usually a great idea to be able to avoid them. Can you find the odd occasional one that has a multilingual menu and have all of the pictures on there? Yes, it is possible. This is not like, oh my gosh, you'll never find. But especially when you're in at least this part of Italy, I mean, a lot of Italy, if you go to a smaller place that is more for locals, very often it will have a much smaller menu, and very often it may only be in Italian. So if you're looking for a more authentic experience, be prepared that you might not be able to do it in your language. I mean, especially if you can go into a place with handwritten menus. Granted, of course, there are plenty of places in this day and age that are trying to replicate that, because some tourists are learning about the secret sauce of how to find the real Italy. But there is still a lot of the authenticity of this beautiful country that you can still find no matter where you go, no matter what city you find yourself in. The thing that I also quite like about sticking to these back streets is the ability to also be able to explore away from the crowds, because if I were to head to some of the more touristy streets, even now, the time of year that it's not even the main tourist season, you'll still have quite a few tourists that come into the city even during the week. But if you know how to get around, or even if you're just willing to explore getting around, views and experiences like this that you can have practically to yourself are most definitely possible. And then when you get onto the back streets, you start finding places like this that are local hangouts, where you mostly will see locals spending their off time. Do you see the occasional tourist? Of course. But be willing to explore, be willing to go off the beaten path. This neighborhood over on the opposite side of this bridge is a much more residential area. So in Verona, could you go explore over there? Most definitely. Is it going to be the most fun? I'm not going to say that necessarily. If you go this way, it'll take you almost straight to Piazza delle Erbe, one of the main tourist little hubs of the city. So even just getting a couple of minutes off of the main pathways of the city, you get a completely different experience. You start hearing more of the local dialect, you start hearing more of the local language and seeing locals going about their daily lives. If you're only focusing on the main piazzas, of course you're going to see a lot of tourists. But I would say when it comes to Verona, unlike some other cities that do have a lot of tourists, this would probably be one of those cities where you could find an interesting life balance and actually be able to live a real life here, unlike maybe some other cities. When it comes to the cost of living here, though, that's going to be a bit different than many other locations in the country. Verona is still much more affordable than many places elsewhere in the world, but if you're comparing it to other cities in Italy, it is on the higher side. It might not be as expensive as Milan, but it could be comparable in some aspects, even if it's not the exact same. I would say probably with the cost of living in general, the edge would be given to Verona. But what about if you are needing to take care of daily necessities? What if you're needing to go shopping for groceries? What if you're needing to go to buy a washing machine? Okay, maybe not a daily necessity, not the type of thing you're going to probably be buying on a weekly basis. But this is actually something that I would say is one regard where many Italian cities do have a challenge regarding lifestyle, that you might not be able to find some of your daily necessities right in the city center. You might have to go a little bit out, or if you can find them in the city center, they'll come at a higher cost, maybe like a convenience store or a small fruit stand. Then you'll have to pay a little bit of a higher price for those daily needs, vegetables, fruits, meat, whatever it might be, because you're not just paying for the item itself, but also the convenience of where you're able to find it and the rent that the owner of that store has to be able to pay. So then another question becomes availability. Are there supermarkets walking distance from here? Yes, but it's not going to be super convenient. Even if you live in this part of town specifically, you are in a controlled traffic zone and you have to apply for special permission to be able to have your car here. It's definitely a doable process, but it is still, like many things in Italy, a process. It is bureaucracy to be dealt with. But again, being in a very touristy location in the center of the city, you're going to have to deal with, okay, basic things like what if you need some nails or some glue or the things for fixing something around your apartment. Then in that case, yeah, you might not be able to find it right smack dab in the middle of a tourist center. Because again, a lot of these big cities in Italy have very much been taken over by tourism. It's just an unavoidable fact. I mean, on one hand, it's wonderful to see people being able to make a living. I think that is a beautiful thing in this world, and I will not argue against that. The concern that I have is like many other places. When the tourism starts to take over, that it pushes locals out. Venice is maybe one of the best examples, and even what we've been seeing in Portugal with locals being pushed out of the big cities and not being able to afford, and maybe the wages in the country not matching up with how much rent might cost. And talking about rent specifically and cost of living, rents in this city are going to definitely be on that higher scale. But if you're comparing maybe some parts of Portugal to a city like Verona, then you could find that you get more for your money here, especially with how expensive things have become in Portugal. Talking about even in regards to how expensive cities like Porto and Lisbon have become, cities that were once very affordable not only for the locals but for most people, have now become places that only those from abroad can afford. That's one thing that I would say is actually maybe a bit different in Verona, is that in the city center, do you have a lot of apartments that have been turned into Airbnbs and booking.com locations? Most definitely. But at the same time, you do still hear many locals remaining. You do see that many of the buildings here have full-time residents, not just those who are on vacation and just staying for a few days and maybe even mistreat the building that they're staying in. Generally speaking, especially on the inside of buildings, they're very well maintained in this city. It might fool you from the outside, seeing things maybe with some paint missing and so on, but if you go inside of these buildings, they can be, you could almost call glamorous. And actually, to be completely fair, not just almost glamorous, not kind of glamorous, many of them are just very, very glamorous on the inside. Beautiful locations. I mean, even just walking around on this back street here, this location that you find yourself in is just, again, right outside of the main tourist zone, but it's still accessible within a couple minutes walk to get there, and even some of the prices that you might find at some places here could differ just ever so slightly. Will it be more expensive here, generally speaking, than many other locations, even in like more residential parts of the city? Yes, of course. But even though it is a very touristy location, I mean, it is still a very livable place. There are people here standing waiting for their buses home from school or buses home from work, whatever it might be. You can have a real life here, unlike many tourist cities. Of course, is there going to be some sort of balance? Are there going to be things that maybe you have to give up by living in a touristy location? Yes. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can't avoid it. But I can't say personally that it would be what exactly that I'm looking for from a place. It's not the type of place that I would see myself calling home. I'm grateful that I can come here for a little bit of time. But is it my new hometown? No, this is not the place. But for as much flack as I may give to tourist locations, there are reasons, definitely, why people go and visit them. I mean, history, being able to see right in front of history, places that are older than what you can imagine, not older than time, but I mean, an arena, a Roman arena, just being able to walk around and experience that. I mean, this is the trade-off. There's going to be a lot of other people who want to experience that as well. So maybe you want to experience it. But even though it might not necessarily be the type of place that I would want to live in, could I see myself here for a bit of time? Yeah. And this is not going to be the final video from Verona. There will most definitely be more. But anyway, hopefully the next time that you see me out and about, it'll be in another location. But until next time, back in my regular recording setup, most likely. We'll see. I make no promises about how often these out and about videos will come. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining for another episode of Not Your Average Globetrotter. Even a huge thank you to those of you who help to make these episodes possible on a monthly basis to RafaelDeFuria.com/Patreon, Patreon.com/RafaelDeFuria, as well as the one-time support through the thanks button here on YouTube, as well as RafaelDeFuria.com/support, of course. I'm Rafael Furia. This has been another episode of Not Your Average Globetrotter. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I will see you all next time. Ciao.